This episode is sponsored by NordProtect. In a world where data breaches are on the rise and identity theft is becoming more common, you have to take steps to protect yourself. NordProtect offers you everything you need to keep your identity safe, all in one easy place. It's built to help you safeguard your identity with advanced automation that works 24/7 on your behalf. Things like dark web monitoring, credit monitoring, security alerts, and more. And if the worst should occur, the platform walks alongside you for identity restoration. NordProtect plans come with financial coverage across a wide range of threats, from identity theft to online fraud and scams, so you are covered when it matters most. Get an exclusive 5% discount on NordProtect plans. Go to nordprotect.com/codestory and use the code CODESTORY at checkout. You can also find the link in the episode notes. That's nordprotect.com/codestory. This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by Codecrafters. As an engineer myself, I know that the best way to learn how to code is to build something new. But sometimes it's hard to come up with project ideas as well as find a community of folks on the same learning path. That's where Codecrafters comes in. With Codecrafters, you can build something that actually stimulates your mind while strengthening your engineering fundamentals. And you can do so by using your favorite IDE or tools to code and build your own Git, Redis, or HTTP server in the language of your choice. Languages like Rust, C++, or Go. Codecrafters is designed to optimize your learning experience as it's designed for productivity. Sign up today and become a better, more confident programmer. Visit codestory.co/codecrafters. That's CODECRAFTERS to get started and get 40% off your upgrade. Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product, potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is sponsored by Postman. Postman is the world's leading API platform, trusted by 98% of the Fortune 500 and over 40 million developers. Tap into APIs from 18,000 plus companies to power agents that make smarter decisions. Learn more at postman.com/podcast/codestory. This message is sponsored by Melee Search. Today, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And Mainly Search gives your users the experience they need with lightning-fast performance, full text search, AI usage, and multimodal capabilities. Mainly Search delivers relevant results in less than the blink of an eye. Use the promo code CODESTORY at checkout to get 2 months free at MeiliSearch.com. That's MEILI search.com. This episode is sponsored by Incogni. Listen, guys, I don't know about you, but I get real tired of managing the spam and cold outreach to my contact info. Those annoying emails, phone calls from unknown numbers, wasting our time and valuable attention. Not to mention the bad stuff from data breaches, which are rising every year. To top it off, data brokers out there harvest our information and sell it to people who intend to spam you and scam you. So what do we do about it? Well, I use Incogni. I signed up to use the platform, and within 30 minutes, hundreds of requests had been sent and completed, removing my data from the public view. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from online directories, people search sites, and commercial databases. The process is fully automated for the hundreds of known data brokers who sell our data without consent. Got a site that they don't auto-hit? No problem. There's a custom removal feature to take down almost everything that is exposed online. So take it from me and take back your personal data with Incogni. Go to incogni.com/codestory and use code CODESTORY at checkout to get 60% off annual plans. You can also find the link in the episode description. That's incogni.com/codestory, because they can't harm you if they can't find you. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. Don't settle for less when you can have more MOR with Paddle, your merchant of record. Eliminate the headaches of payments, grow your revenue everywhere, and focus on what you do best, building your product. Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com.
At that time, Snowflake was like a good proof that you can build cloud-only product. It can get a lot of usage and people are moving towards cloud. So the first idea was to build something only for cloud, because if you want to build anything that works for both cloud and on-prem, you get stuck with least common denominator of capabilities. We wanted to build something that we can have as much simplicity, as much value for the user. So we decided to build a cloud-only platform, similar to Snowflake, but for streaming data, meaning that you would be able to process your streaming data in the cloud environment without having to deal with the infrastructure, operations, and all of those things. My name is Hojjat Jafarpour. I'm the founder and CEO at DeltaStream.
This is Code Story, a podcast bringing you interviews with tech visionaries.
Spent 6 months moonlighting.
There's nothing on the back end.
Who share what it takes to change an industry.
I don't exactly know what to do next.
Took many goes to get right.
Who built the teams that have their back.
A company is its people.
The teams help each other achieve more.
Most proud of our team.
Keeping scalability top of mind.
All that infrastructure was a
Yes, we've been fighting it as we grow.
Total waste of time. The stories you don't read in the headlines.
It's not an easy thing to achieve, mind you.
Took it off the shelf and dusted it off and tried it again.
To ride the ups and downs of the startup life.
You need to really want it.
It's not just about technology.
All this and more on Code Story.
I'm your host, Noah Laupart, and today how Hojjat Jafarpour is enabling you to not only stream data, but to build the future on it and power real-time decisions. Hojjat Jafarpour lives with his family in California. He got his PhD in databases and data streaming back when the landscape was different and data streaming wasn't quote-unquote cool yet. He was an early member at Confluent, but also spent time at Quantcast, Informatica, and NEC Labs. But outside of tech, he has a family with young kids. He enjoys traveling and can't wait until the kids are old enough to take big trips. Hojjat joined Confluent in their early days. He was on a project that built out kSQL, which was a key cornerstone of Confluent. As these were the early days of stream processing, he started to think about ways to make it easier, i.e. to make this sort of tech available without all the infrastructure. This is the creation story of DeltaStream.
One of the main reasons to start DeltaStream goes back to my experience at Confluent. As I mentioned, I joined Confluent early on, before the second anniversary. And when I joined, the project that I was going to work on was having a SQL layer on top of streaming data in Kafka, meaning that simplifying processing streaming data. And that totally made sense because, as I mentioned earlier, during my PhD, I worked on a different earlier versions of streaming data. And after that in industry, I worked on a few companies that I built SQL layer on top of different systems, on top of key value stores, on top of custom MapReduce and so forth. But kind of seemed to be a very interesting match of things that I have been doing already, and good confluence of streaming and SQL in one project. So I started this project, we called it kSQL, and it was one of the first steps in the community to provide SQL layer on top of Kafka. It went on to be one of the main offering of Confluent, both for Confluent Cloud and Confluent Platform. But usually, as always, when you build something for the first time, you make a lot of decisions, but as you see how people are using it and how things evolve, you learn a lot and you see the mistakes, see the things that you could do better. And that was the main motivation to actually start DeltaStream. Seeing the difficulties that people had with running stream processing infrastructure, and also emergence of cloud as a catalyst of making things much, much easier and taking away complexity from the user. That was like a trigger for coming up with the idea, what if we take away the complexity and make stream processing super easy for folks without having them to think about infrastructure. So that was like a thought process behind starting DeltaStream. And once I left Confluent, I raised our seed round and started the company to build a serverless stream processing platform to significantly simplify building stream processing applications on top of data in Kafka, Kinesis, and similar systems.
Tell me about the MVP for DeltaStream. So that first version you built, how long did it take to build, and what sort of tools were you using, to bring it to life?
So let me first give you a little bit of philosophy behind DeltaStream, why we started and what was the goal in the beginning. So this is goes back to 2020, 2021, those years. And at that time, Snowflake was like a good proof that you can build cloud-only product and it can get a lot of usage and people are moving towards cloud. So the first idea was to build something only for cloud, because if you want to build anything that works for both cloud and on-prem, you can get stuck with least common denominator of capabilities. So these are two different environments. So we wanted to build something that we can have as much simplicity, as much value for the user. So we decided to build a cloud-only platform, similar to Snowflake, but for streaming data, meaning that you would be able to process your streaming data in the cloud environment without having to deal with the infrastructure, operations, and all of those things. And that was like a first step, streaming data. And at that time, we wanted to use a compute engine. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel from scratch. And Apache Flink was a kind of proven technology, has been used in large scales in companies like Uber, Netflix, LinkedIn, and had a big community and growing community. And we decided instead of building something in-house, we can actually leverage a compute engine. Problem with systems like Apache Flink or kSQL itself was operations. We were like, let's take away the complexity of operation and build a serverless environment that people can just come write queries without having to deal with the clusters, run infrastructure, and so forth. And another philosophy behind building DeltaStream was coming from S3. So think in this way, you can take an on-prem product and run it on cloud as quote-unquote fully managed system, but it still user has to deal with a lot of complexities that kind of you can think about them as a baggage from on-prem, like provisioning resources, how big of a cluster do you need, how many nodes, and so forth. But you can hide all of those complexities and just provide usage API for user. S3 has done that, and as you see, one of the simplest systems to use and one of the most popular systems. So that was like another behind building DeltaStream. We wanted to build a serverless platform that you don't have to think about provisioning resources or scaling up, scaling down. All of those would be handled under the hood. So that was like a first step. Let's build a stream processing platform. Under the hood, we use Flink, but user doesn't have to know about like operation complexity and scaling out, scaling down, fault tolerance, and they just focus on building their application and we take care of everything. So that was, you can think about like minimum viable product, but of course, Once you had that basic functionality, now you have to make it robust and production ready. And that kind of aligned very nicely with the timing of the market, 22, 23, when we were building the platform. Market was not in a good place, but we also were busy with building the Snowflake upstream process.
Okay, guys, I got a serious update for you. You heard me talk about SEMA and the product roadmap radar. I just caught up with Matt, who's the founder there, and he gave me the latest on what they are building. And my mind is blown. The team at SEMA are taking things to the next level. Built around the core of the product roadmap radar, i.e. code and Jira analysis, they are building agent orchestration across the product lifecycle. Picture this. You hook up this system same as before, i.e. integrate your repository and your backlog, Jira today. From that point, SEMA's agent analyzes the codebase and makes suggestions as to what needs to be done next and what could improve, optimize the product. Then, if those tasks are routine, the agent assigns the task to a coding agent, think something like Devin, to complete the minutia, while assigning the human-in-the-loop task to engineers themselves. What you end up with is engineers focusing on building core competency features, while AI handles all the rest. If you're not salivating right now, I don't think you fully understand what this means. But here's what I would suggest. Right now, their product is in a closed beta, and SEMA is looking for folks to sign up for their Product Intelligence Advisory Board. This gives you the opportunity to use the product, give feedback, help shape the future of what's built. Oh, and not to mention additional free usage of the product potentially through the end of 2026. So, if that fits your workflow and toolset, you need to reach out today. Go to codestory.co/nextlevel, NEXTLEVEL, and reach out to Matt at SEMA to learn more and join the Product Intelligence Advisory Board. Again, that's codestory.co/nextlevel. This episode is brought to you by Paddle. As a startup, you face unique challenges to stay competitive. You and your team need to stay focused on your product, not your payments. You need to do more, MOR, and DIY less. With Paddle. Paddle is your merchant of record, becoming the seller of record for your SaaS transactions, enabling your team to focus on what's important, your product. Paddle handles all payment management across multiple gateways and methods, taking ownership of tax liability while remaining compliant with regulations across all markets. The platform handles all aspects of SaaS billing, billing models, upgrades, add-on, trials, and more. Let's look at the results. MOR revenue optimization is built into Paddle and accounts for up to 16% higher conversion rates, reduced payment failures, localized pricing, and churn prevention, recovering 40% of cancellations. Their developer-friendly tools are API first with comprehensive documentation, removing the burden from your engineers. With Paddle as your merchant of record, you'll generate more revenue, find and keep more customers, grow faster, and stay compliant everywhere. So what are you waiting for? Get more revenue with less hassle at paddle.com. This episode is brought to you by Vention, the engineering partner you need after the MVP launch. So you built fast with Lovable. You shipped your MVP, impressed investors, and maybe even landed your first users. Now comes the hard part. Vention's AI discovery workshops are built for teams who have moved fast and now need to figure out what's actually worth scaling. Led by senior engineers and an in-house CTO, the workshop helps you pressure test your use case, catch gaps early, and build a roadmap your team can actually deliver on, with the kind of engineering support that brings peace of mind, not second guessing. Lovable got you live. Vention gets you ready to scale. Go to ventionteams.com or book your AI workshop now at ventionteams.com/codestory and go from idea to impact faster. That's ventionteams.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Fullscale. Let me guess, your team's shipping sprint velocity looks good, but you're still asking yourself, is anyone actually thinking about the why? Matt Watson's been there. He's the founder behind Vin Solutions and Stackify, and now runs Fullscale with a 300-plus person dev team. And after 2 decades in the trenches, he's seen the same pattern over and over. Smart developers stuck in systems that reward ticket-taking instead of real thinking. That's why he wrote Product Driven, a playbook for tech leaders who are done babysitting developers and ready to build teams that own the outcome. If you're tired of translating every feature doing all the thinking, or wondering why your smart team is still stuck, this is the fix. Go to productdriven.com/codestory to grab the book and get the bonus toolkit to help your team shift from output to outcomes, like 12 bold ways to get your retros out of robot mode. Again, that's productdriven.com/codestory. This episode is sponsored by Search. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone, and you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need Search. Search has lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. Search utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, Search delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MeiliSearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. So then you've got that MVP, right? That first version of the product, and now you're ready to, quote unquote, enterpriseify it, right? Or productify it. How did you go about that process? How did you mature it and progress it? And I think to wrap that in a box, what I'm looking for is, how did you build your roadmap? How did you go about deciding that, okay, this is the next most important thing to build or to address with DeltaStream?
One thing I wanted to from beginning focus on was providing a solution instead of technology. What do I mean with that is, think about a lot of times companies talk about, hey, we can provide Spark, we can provide Kafka, we can provide Flink and these type of technologies. But a lot of times the question is that, what do you use these technologies for? What problems are you solving? And many times you may need more than one product to solve a problem. Let's say you want to build a fraud detection or anomaly detection pipeline. You need multiple systems to glue together to be able to build that solution. So what we decided from the beginning was to not focus on technology, but focus on the solution. Meaning that you have this problem, we will provide the full solution for the problem. And that was very much the main a factor that we would build our roadmap and what product we are going to build based on that. Let me give you an example. As I mentioned, we started with stream processing or serverless stream processing based on Apache Flink, right? So you could build streaming pipelines, stateful processing, and multi-stage stream processing pipelines and so forth. But a lot of times we would see that one of the very common use cases for these scenarios is that people would build these streaming pipelines, but materialize the result in a database like ClickHouse or Postgres or any of these databases, and then serve it to third-party apps like dashboards or downstream applications. And disconnect here, you are asking user to use two technologies to build their solution. And our idea was that why should we have multiple systems if we can have the full solution in one product? So that was the motivation to add the capability of building real-time materialized views in DeltaStream. Again, under the hood, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. We brought technology like ClickHouse to the platform, but we simplified building these pipelines and materialized views with just few SQL statements without having to deal with complexity of Flink, ClickHouse, connecting these technology together and operating these larger scales of data. So technically, the users would come up to our platform, build the pipeline in SQL, and say create a materialized view in, again, SQL statement. Under the hood, we connect these different technologies and make sure that everything works properly. That is a main factor in deciding our roadmap and what we are building, which is looking at the problems that people have and trying to build solutions for those problems. These solutions may include multiple technologies, but we take care of those technologies, so you can just focus on the problems to solve and solutions that we provide.
I hear you saying we when you're describing that. Tell me about how you built your team and what you look for in those people to indicate that they were the winning horses to join you.
Very much from the beginning, I myself had some skill set, very much involved in building the product. But there were a lot of other skills that we needed to have in the product. So again, it's one of those cases that I was very lucky to know people from previous life to have skill sets that would complement what I will bring to the table. One of them is our engineering lead. His name is Krishna. We were in the same lab back in grad school, and he's the ultimate experienced person in building platforms and infrastructure. He's one of the creators of OpenShift at Red Hat, and that's one of the building blocks of this type of platforms that we build, Kubernetes. And he came with a couple of his colleagues, started the platform and infra side of the team. I also had other colleagues that would bring different skill set. One of them was, again, my lab mate from grad school. At that time, he was at Microsoft working on database systems and Spark. And he joined the team for handling the SQL layers and query side of the product. So that kind of like complementary skill sets. I was really lucky to know people that have experience and been there, done that, built those systems. The important point was to have to get them together and have them work together. That was the easy part, actually, because we have a really cohesive team that worked very well together. Even though we started in the COVID time, everything was remote, but overall, can't be happier for the team that we built.
This episode is brought to you by PropelOff. People take authentication for granted, but it's more than how customers log into your product. It's how you manage your relationship with your users. The easiest way to make authentication your advantage is to use PropelOff. PropelOff is more than just functional. It's powerful. With tools like Managed UIs, Enterprise SSO, robust user management features, and actionable insights, PropelOff adapts as your product grows. And the best part? When Auth is effortless, your team can focus on scaling, not troubleshooting. That means more releases, happier customers, and more growth for your business. Save dev time, win over your customers, and propel your business forward with PropelOff. Check them out at propeloff.com. That's PROPELAUTH.com. This episode is sponsored by MailySearch. In today's digital landscape, search isn't just a feature, it's a cornerstone. And you need a user experience that drives customer satisfaction. You need MailySearch. MailySearch is lightning-fast performance, returning answers in less than 50 milliseconds. Yeah, you heard that right. Faster than the blink of an eye. The open-source AI search engine is plug-and-play, so you can get up and running in minutes with smart presets, allowing you to start searching through your data with zero configuration. MailySearch utilizes advanced full-text search and AI, ensuring your results are ultra-relevant with semantic depth. It's multimodal, supporting images, videos, and audio, along with being federated, i.e. searching across multiple data sources. And it's developer-friendly. Whether you're building a content-rich website or enterprise application, MailySearch delivers the experience your users expect and deserve. For a limited time, CodeStory users can get 2 months free. Use the promo code CODESTORY, all one word, at checkout. Just go to MailySearch.com and get started today. That's MEILI search.com. Let's move into scalability. And this will be interesting given your experience and what you're solving, here with DeltaStream. I'm curious, has there been interesting areas with scale where you've had to fight it as you've grown?
I would say a couple of decisions that we made from the beginning helped a lot in addressing that scalability from get-go. Of course, in the streaming space, scale and the volume of data and timeliness of processing are very important cases. The architecture that we decided from the beginning was literally built, as I mentioned earlier, based on the things that we would see in similar systems, but for maybe different purposes. In the storage case, S3, for instance, you can see how easy that scales. And for compute part, we looked into systems like Snowflake, separation of compute and storage, and making sure that each of them can scale up and down independently. So those were some of those critical decisions that once we made those decisions based on the experience that we have seen different systems work. And also under the hood, as I mentioned, we use Apache Flink as our compute engine. We built something that could easily scale up to thousands of streaming jobs without any problem. And each of these streaming jobs can scale up and down elastically, independently with isolation from other jobs. One decision that we made was have each of the streaming jobs in isolation. meaning that we wouldn't have shared clusters or shared resources to run multiple streaming jobs. That came with a lot of interesting benefits, that fine-grained elasticity, isolation. You wouldn't have a situation that one bad job would affect other normal running jobs and those type of situations. So that first decision actually helped a lot to address these scale and elasticity and fault tolerance situation much more effectively as the system scales up.
So as you step out on the balcony and you look across all that you've built, with DeltaStream in particular, what are you most proud of?
There are a lot of things. From the product point of view, I can say the evolution of product and the complete product that we have now, I'm very proud of it, because this is like anyone who is in the field and understands these type of products. When we talk about the architecture that we have and what we have built with a very lean team, it surprised a lot of people, and I'm very proud of myself and the team and the work that we have done. Mostly team, of course, and the product that we have built. That's one part of it. Also, I think another good kind of like a property of the product that we build is that versatility. With the emergence of AI in the last couple of years, we are seeing that kind of the platform that we build can easily be adapted or employed as the real-time context for your GenAI applications and agents. And that can be a critical part of any infrastructure for building GenAI applications. So ease of use of product in different contexts is one of the things that I see a lot of value in. I'm very proud of the team that we built this.
Let's flip the script a little bit. Tell me about a mistake you made and how you and your team responded to it.
Not going to market sooner, in a sense that we were a little bit more perfectionist in the beginning, in the sense that we should have everything in the right way to go to market with. But in many cases, actually, we could go earlier and get much more feedback. And we are doing it now in a sense that we try to solicit as much feedback as possible. In the earlier days, we wanted to wait until we have more mature product. So that would be a mistake, I would say. If I try again, I would try to go to market sooner and try to get more real feedback from the real world scenarios.
Let's move forward then. I'm excited to hear what the future looks like for DeltaStream, for the company and for the product. Tell me about that.
One dimension, as I mentioned earlier, is the whole AI revolution that we are seeing, and the role of data, and more especially real-time and fresh data in the AI applications. This is something that I have been talking about it since last year, that a lot of interesting things that we are seeing in the world of AI last couple of years started with models and LLMs and more like infrastructure. But now we are seeing that people are starting to build applications, and agents is the magic word in this scenario. It's very important and it's very easy to position the role of fresh data for this type of scenario. Once people start building applications, the main differentiator is the data that you have and how valuable or fresh that data is. And that's, I think, very big impact that we're going to see in where we are going from the positioning of the product and how we are going to build the product in the way that it would be like a big part of infrastructure for building applications and agents in the age of AI. Let me give you an example. It's very easy to tell people that, would you like your agents make decisions based on 1 hour ago's data or what's happening right now? And the answer is very easy. We have built the whole real-time context engine paradigm in the product, in the sense that it can make this available for your GenAI agents effortlessly, meaning that they would just point to the context and that context is continuously being updated and fresh. And the next part is more like an integration. We are seeing a lot of users of analytic systems and warehouse, lakehouse systems like Databricks, Snowflake, and similar systems as a good potential users for us. A lot of time data is being ingested from streaming systems or change data capture from databases to these type of systems for analytics. So one thing that we have a start value. We announced it today on the Snowflake side. We have native integration with Snowflake now that you can actually access real-time data from inside Snowflake. You don't need to leave Snowflake. And if you're using Snowflake and familiar with the environment, now DeltaStream opens the door for access and processing and literally doing everything that you would do with streaming data from Snowflake. And we are going to do the same thing for Databricks and a couple of other systems. So this is another direction that I'm seeing, that much better integration with ecosystems that simplifies access to streaming and real-time data without having to learning new systems, understanding new UI, for instance, and those type of situations.
Okay, let's switch to you, Hojjat. Who influences the way that you work? Name a person or many persons or something you look up to and why.
There's a lot of people and in different ways. I think I really like the style of Confluent CEO, Jay Krepp. I used to see in front of him when the company was very small and saw how he evolved from an engineer into a CEO and running a big company. I think a lot of things that I've seen in that journey influenced my decision making too. And of course, there are many other people, but he was one of the people that I could see the decisions and impacts of them very closely and learned a lot from.
Last question, Hojjat. So you're getting on a plane and you're sitting next to a young entrepreneur who's built the next big thing. They're jazzed about it. They can't wait to show it off to the world and can't wait to show it off to you right there on the plane. What advice do you give that person, having gone down this road a bit?
There's a lot of factors that you can think about, but I would say the most important thing is the team and the people around him or her, and try to build a team that he or she can trust and delegate and work with. Because once you have a team that they have the same goal, they are on the same page, a lot of things just becomes much, much easier. But of course, once you have the team and you build the product, the most important thing is going to be customer success. The goal of building something that solves the problem for folks easily and makes them successful, that's the ultimate product that you can build.
I think that's fantastic advice. Well, Hojjat, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for telling the creation story of DeltaStream.
Thank you very much for having me.
And this concludes another chapter of Code Story. Code Story is hosted and produced by Noah Labhart. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or the podcasting app of your choice. And when you get a chance, leave us a review. Both things help us out tremendously. And thanks again for listening.